Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. This is going to be quick because I have a show coming up on Tim Black at 9 o'clock. It's not going to be a long one because I'm still somewhere recovering. But that being said, I wanted to give an announcement that I thought was pretty badass. Could you hit that light for me? My wife is here. She's being my backup tester / everybody else person. That's better. So Steve Grumbine from The Real Progressives is going to be here on Monday at 8 p.m. I just confirmed it with him. I'm looking forward to this. Steve Grumbine is a big MMT guy, modern monetary theory guy. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. This is something that I'm learning a little bit more about. People keep asking, it's like, well, dude, you have all these ideas. How are you going to pay for those ideas? So their solution is MMT. I have to be honest, slightly skeptical on some of it. It makes sense to understand the basis of it. Ultimately, a person who issues their currency can't necessarily go broke. As long as the United States has things in dollars, well, we can create all the dollars we need for whatever we need it for within limits. I mean, some of this has to do with taxation and everything else, but ultimately, your government can never really go broke. It's making money out of thin air and is doing whatever it needs to do for those things. That said, it has something to do with the labor pool, meaning what are the resources and what is the labor that your people can bring to bear in a particular society. That's more important, particularly since we don't necessarily have currency backed by gold anymore. We have fiat currency. It's money made out of thin air. There's no value. Now, the more interesting point to this conversation with me is full employment. Full employment, or at the very least, how do you get everybody the work that they need? And I know there's a multiplier effect associated with it. Meaning, if I have people in my economy who want a job, who don't have a job, then we're not spending enough to make sure those people have a job. And ultimately, all the way down the line, there's a kickback to the government in a sense. Yes, I'm giving that person a job, but that person is now paying taxes. And that person now has more money to spend in the economy, which will go to other people getting jobs, which again, will be more money paid back in taxes. I'm going to look forward to this conversation, and I'm going to have to book up a little bit more on MMT, just to be on the safe side. I've read, or put it this way, I've seen multiple lectures. I've even been in person in many of these lectures. People having debates on MMT, debates on full employment or guaranteed work minimum income versus guaranteed work. My argument is both, but either way, I've sat in arguments and conversation with these guys. It is fascinating. My biggest issue with this is politics. It's optics. Like, everything that you could be saying could be absolutely perfectly true. But you have a skeptical populace. You have an immensely skeptical populace. And that skeptical populace has been grew up on this idea that if you spend too much money, there'll be inflation. You can have people who know squat about anything else in government, squat about anything else in politics, and in their head, that thing is still there. We spent like $17 trillion bailing out the banks and everything else. I don't see inflation. I don't see inflation. They always bring up Weimar Germany and some of these other places, but again, it was different. I mean, Germany in that particular case was forced to pay back a war debt. You can argue on whether or not they should have had to pay that war debt back in the first place. And we're talking about after World War I, which threw their economy into a tailspin. But part of that was because it was this forced thing of them needing to print whatever their currency was. We're in a different situation. I'm not going to ramble. I'm just going to leave it at that. Steve Grumbine from Real Progressives is going to be on for a live conversation about MMT. And look, probably progressive politics in general. Meaning, all these things that progressives want, how do progressives pay for those things? I find this to be one of the most ridiculous questions because we spend like $1 trillion in murdering people abroad. And nobody ever asks, hey, how are we going to afford that extra bomb or that extra bullet? Nobody says that. You bring up, shouldn't people have healthcare? I mean, should people at the very least in the richest country on the planet have healthcare from the time they're born to the time they leave this place? You had all these other countries around the globe that did it. They don't have anywhere near the riches that we have in this country. Why can't we do it? Only then This dollars and cents come into play. Hey, how are you going to pay for that healthcare for all these people? I get it. You're a bleeding lab. How are you going to pay for healthcare for all these people? I'm always fascinated if the same conversation doesn't come up with murdering people abroad. I leave it at that. I'm going to be on Tim Black in an hour. And like I said, that shows it's not going to be as long as it usually is. I think I'm going to do 2 segments and I'm going to answer questions. And so I'm going to leave it at that. All right, guys, I'm using a new audio-visual setup in order to pipe this through. So I hope this came through okay. I'm going to check the video right behind it, but hope it came through okay. Long story short, Steve Grumbine, Real Progressives, will be on the Progressive Soapbox 8 p.m. on Monday, Eastern Time. Oh, by the way, my wife, I don't know if you can see this. She got me an ink pen that says Progressive Soapbox. I got business cards also. She is awesome. She's awesome. She's Johnny on the spot. All right, guys. Thank you.